everybody. We are once again working on the Balren. And I've done a decent amount of work on Balren while y'all been away. I've worked a lot on the coat. I can flicker it, but I ain't gonna just yet. So, today we're doing light and shadow everywhere. So, right now I'm working boots. We have a boot dilemma that I didn't notice because the background is black. Look at the bottom of that boot. That is ratty and nasty. So we're going to clean it. We're going to clean the boot and we're going to darken the sole of the boot. Darken the sole. So we're going to go in and make the boot look like the leather is different than the potential rubber at the bottom, or I don't know. I guess no, not rubber. It'd be like a harder leather. Yeah, I'm a dum-dum. Funny thing is about being a DM is you end up learning or trying to learn a lot about history, so you're somewhat accurate in a world that doesn't exist. Irony. So, what layer am I on here? Okay. Control Z. Hey, one viewer. Thanks for coming to the show. So, select inverse. It looks like nothing. Hey, Animal G, who subscribed at 1 tier for 5 months. How's your quarantine doing? In my quarantine, I'm talking to myself. It's like the thing I'm doing. This is the ASMR edition where I just say into the mic everything I'm going to do with big wet mouth sounds. I won't do that to you, Animal G. You're cool at all. So. Oh. Have you seen Tiger King? Animal G. Your name is Animal G. And if you haven't seen Tiger King, you're doing a disservice to all other animals. Do you have Netflix, Animal G? Does he have Netflix? Oh, no joke. #1 in America. It is the #1 thing being streamed right now on all of Netflix. I wish I was joking. I'm not. It's amazing. It is about, I can't even, it's about craziness. It's a documentary about mostly a real life guy from Oklahoma named Joe Exotic who did run for president in 2015. And that's the first time I heard of him because he was on John Oliver. John Oliver was making fun of this weird guy from Oklahoma who has over 200 tigers in a private zoo he runs. And oh man, the story, that's where the story starts. And it only gets weirder and more bizarre from there. It's fantastic. Oh, then it's all about this guy. All about this guy. I was skeptical of my brother's recommendation that this thing about Joe Exotic is going to be any good. It is some of the best television I've seen this year. Oh my God. The editing is incredible. And I know that sounds really douchey of me to say, well, the editing is really good. But the editing is fantastic because it's a documentary. They already know everything everybody's going to say. So they frame and lay it all out. So at about the third act of every episode, a new curveball comes to the viewer and you're like, wait a minute, what? And then you absolutely have to watch the next one. It's bonkers pants. Hi, second viewer. We're discussing Tiger King. Okay. Anyway, back onto art. I'm working on a boot. As you can see, I'm using, it is Animal G. If I'm wrong, I will apologize to you on a live game. I will be like, and if you didn't like it, Animal G, I am sorry for misleading you. That's what I will say. And I will greatly apologize and beg your pardon in front of however many people are watching, which will be like 6. But hey, you got to start somewhere, guys. You got to start your audience somewhere. Okay, so I wonder if that second viewer's cam probably isn't. He doesn't necessarily support my stream, even though I watch his. So we have a boot dilemma. What's that boot dilemma? If you've been around for any issues I've had on our lovely illustration of Balren right here, you've noticed that I kept a black background up the entire time. Well, I did a sneak peek, and oh my god, look at those boots. The bottom edge looks like nasty. So I am going to go into the illustration layer, and honestly, this is not the first time I've run into an issue on the Balren original illustration. It's just because I don't normally draw a comic book style of art. I don't really have a style. I've noticed doing the art teaching gig for this time that whether or not you have your own defined style changes based on the person. Tay? What's up, Tay? Tay's here, everybody. By everybody, I mean Animal and me. So why will this erase? Something's up. What's up? I am trying to erase. It's the boot. Oh, you missed it. Here we go. He's a DM. He's an artist. This is DM2Art. How's that? I did that for you. I did that for the peoples. I will sing. Hey, how's that for irony? We have a guy that does music, but here I am doing the singing. Weird, right? So I'm cleaning boots. Coin it. That's a wrap. The boot edges just look kind of nasty because my original illustration doesn't look terribly clean. So like I was saying, this all began as an illustration of Balren in pencil, and then pencil never scans well if you guys have never messed with it. Like when you convert this into digital, pencil, because it's graphite, will reflect the light of the scanner back into the scanner and will appear even more grainy than it already is, and it'll leave white areas that are not part of your original illustration. So when you go in and ink, that really is the determinant of so much of your drawing. So inking becomes really key, and inking is very stressful because if you make any mistakes, then those mistakes are forever there. So I like to tell people when you're drawing in pen, it actually forces you to get better because you're working without a safety net and everything is a permanent choice. So right now I'm going through cleaning because these are boots, y'all. They got to look like, decent, a flat bottom edge. They got to look nice and sharp. So I am doing cleanings of boots. So illustration copy. I got to be careful about trimming too much because I don't want to make it look too out of whack. I'm going to keep that, and I drop the color on another layer. And for those of you that weren't here for the first part, thank you, Lurk. You are a lovely lurker, Air. Thank you for supporting the stream. So I've done a significant amount of work on Balren's coat, belt, pants, like all the things are there except for the trident. I'm going to save the trident for last because the trident is like a whole new level of work. And I don't even know if I'll get to the trident today because I said the next thing I want to do is Balren's skin. So I just want to get all the little details done. So I've been working on his boots to make them look like leather, as opposed to like a flat texture that I dropped in, which is what I did. But if you go through after you have your flat texture and then you selectively shade and highlight things, then suddenly it starts to look far more three-dimensional. And three-dimensionality is what you're always going for, because then things just seem a little bit more real. So I'm trying to grab some highlights and pull them out, like sunlight is actually reflecting off his boots as he's standing. I'm going to globally do it right here and a little bit up here and a little on the sides. Nope, didn't like how brown that got. Coming over here. Now, the tops I haven't even touched on the boots yet, but I did make a boot path, because boot path's the best. So paths, you begin with the selection, it sets it all up. And now, thanks for coming in, y'all, for like watching and stuff. Thank you for the boots, Rain. Rain's late. Because I lost my train of thought. I made fun of Rain and now I thought it was what I was going to say. I'm going to cut off the bottom, so I only work on the top. The Captain America aspect of the boots. Okay. Clicking with Polly. Yeah, I know. Well, my thought process is erratic these days. So, this is partially blocked by the look of... Oh, I just caught an inconsistency. An inconsistency. All right, that's going to drive me crazy. I'll have to fix that. Okay, I'll fix it right now. I'm going to add up here because that tiny brown thing should be part of the boot. So it'd be black. Is it? It's tough to say. Anyway, so when you do this process, this was, like I said from an earlier video, the first time that I had done this in a while, done like a comic book style in a while. So because of that, I didn't have it as clean. The last one that I drew was Fulcrum, and you'll definitely notice a difference when I'm on Fulcrum versus like Balren. Fulcrum is just more together. He's more. He just makes more sense. Kind of like everything seems to flow better. There you go. Now there's leather up there. So I'm going to take this whole thing and selectively lighten and darken it. So the lower part of the boot I have made react to the lighting in the world Balren is in, instead of being a flat surface. The top part of the boot that currently has the dotted line around it doesn't have that done. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to highlight right here. And I'm going to darken. I'm going to pull just a rim right here, like this side's starting to crop out from underneath the jacket. And then I'm going to go in and burn on the outside layer. Nope. I want a bigger brush. I want a lower exposure. And I'm going to set the tiniest rim up here. Like it has to fold both up and down before it comes out to the world to see. And the interior folds of leather in here where the boot folds over itself would be crazy dark. There'd be very little light that would get in there. This guy right here. So I'm going to run through this and selectively darken it down to a ridiculous point. And I need to add this part too, because it's actually part of the boot, not the pants. So that's got to be darkened as well. Darky dark. Why aren't you darkening? Oh, no, it's part of the original illustration. So that's a little bit problematic. I have to darken it because it doesn't look like what it is. So I'm just going to darken it down. See, problem solved. Look at that. Burn for the win. Our tool is burn right now. We are burning Balren's boots. Burning the boots. All right, so I'm going to burn some of these darkened areas right here just to give it a little bit more character. Oh, it's a cool tool. Oh, I'm burning the wrong layer. Whoops. Don't stay on your layer, kids. I like these divots. I want to give a little life to it. Make it look a little crinkled. Let's see. This guy's mega crinkles. However, he's more in light, so I don't have to be as shadowy with him because this boot is in broad daylight. It's sticking out a little bit further from the coat, and we've decided the light is hitting from the left. So because of that, I make sure I'm in the boot layer. I make sure I'm set to burn. I'm going to burn at a higher exposure so it happens faster and with greater drama. And I'm going to make sure this inside sliver where the leather folds on itself is mega dark. All the darkness that can be darkened. And now I'm going to darken a little bit the layer that faces us. And I'm going to back that off because it went blue, which I didn't really care for. And I'm going to back off the exposure. So it's not as dramatic. And then I'm going to dodge on the outside edge. So I'm going to highlight the area that would get hit with light. I'm going to even put in a rim light right here. Little bit too bright for my taste. Thanks for coming, everybody. There is much debate that amongst the gentlemen of TT2KB that I should have this as a scheduled show, but that's just, you can't cage me. So it'll happen when it happens. Honestly, this is more of an excuse for me to be forced by peer pressure that I've programmed myself to have to work on it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't get it done, because it's not my jam. I'm not really good at getting things done sometimes. So here's my problem. Love the crinkles. I don't like that this shiny area is somehow lacking texture. So I'm going to pull a tricky trick. I'm going to grab a chunk of the opposite boot. I don't believe in normal human time constraints. It just seems like it's constrictive. I don't want to be constrained. So I'm going to grab a swatch of leather over here, layer via copy. It went so dark. Drag it over here. It went so dark because, that's a really good question. So I'm going to put it up here, and I'm essentially going to use this texture on this shiny area where I want there to be more of the standard leather texture to appear. I'm going to rotate a little bit. A little bit of warp. Get a little bit of warp action going. Because it's such a cool tool. Levi's cool tools. So, there's my warpy warp. Put a layer mask on that sucker. A layer mask allows me to selectively erase only that object by painting parts of it away with black and bringing parts of it back with white. This feels like such an intimate setting. There's not that many of us, so it's like, guys, how you feeling? How's your days? I don't want to paint that side away like that because that was coming out too hazy. So I want to see what I'm doing by vanishing. And I want to flow down the line. Oh, amazing lasso work. I mean, amazing. So that way it's a nice clean edge. Clean edge. So clean. Now I've got some of the texture I want. And I'm going to fade out so this wrinkle flows up a little bit. Oh no! Tornado watch for rain? No! That is a shame. What Torcon are you at? Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm merging it down. I don't care what anybody says. I was going to do something to these boots where the trim is on the top upper part. I don't really know what I want to do. I think I might layer a color in. Just a slight color. And our go-to has been green. So I think I shall do green or brown. I'll do green so he's bookended by the hat and the feet. I'm going to go to the illustration layer. And I got to vanish my boots. Boots go away. So we have to do a selection here. Which means we got to patch some stuff. Son of a poop. So, illustration layer. What's up, illustration layer? And selecting right here. And I'm going to do a selection with a 95% flow. So my flow is really flowy. And I'm going to do a little more selecting. Selecting. So I'm painting here. I am actually patching holes. Because if I want to do magic wand, for those who don't remember, magic wand, hey, what's up? Clicky grabs a bunch of stuff. Grabs a bunch of stuff that is all the same. But in order for that to happen, you can't have any holes. Because if you had holes, magic wand would grab even more stuff. Magic wand fills in an entire space till it hits a wall. That's how it functions. It's how it thinks. Right here, I have a hole. If this is actually also a hole, so it'd flow down here too. This is just ugly, so I'm going to clean that. I am patching by literally painting, so... Setting the hardness, it's kind of high. Oh, nice. Now I'm gonna pick a brush that is really small. I like to singing songs in my basement. My basement. And I don't like the curvature. Nope. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let it go. Indiana. Indiana. Let it go. That's his name. Henry Jones Jr. Where did Indiana come from? He named the dog Indiana. You were named after a dog? Got a lot of fond memories of that dog. Follow me, Indy. I know the way. Got lost in his own museum. Okay. I've patched. And now I must grabby grabs. Grabby. Grabby. This is all the stuff we're going to tend to color. Oh my. Oh, that was like sniper grabbing with magic wand. That was lustrous. Okay. Now, I know this one's almost entirely in darkness, but the cool thing is when we start layering in color, it's going to look fantastic because the lighting is taken care of for us. There's no place for us. No time and place for us. All right. I'm going to get a nice deep green. Actually, I'm going to do a fade. No, I'm not going to do a fade. It won't work right. Okay. I'm not going to be a dumb. I'm going to grab the green right off his jacket. Look at that. Same green. Same green. Ooh, Levi, that looks good. No, it doesn't. You're wrong. Why are you wrong? Because it's a good idea, but it's a flat color. However, if I do one of these, never be a dum-dum. When you could be a smart. So I'm going to cycle through these. So here we are on the various blending modes. Blending modes take an entire layer. In this case, flicker the green on the boots. So the blending mode for this layer is set to normal, so they look just like flat green. But if I cycle down... Yeah, but see, multiply doesn't work right well. Multiply doesn't work well in every instance. Because look, this is darken, which is actually giving us motes of green, which is kind of nice. But check out multiply. You can't see a thing. You can't see anything. It's just too dark. So in this case, we're probably going to end up with one of the bright modes that lets brightness come through. Like that is screen. Screen's good. My only problem with screen is I think those boots are garish even for Balren, because despite Balren being a pirate that supposedly flaunts wealth, he also kind of seems like he doesn't care about anything. That is color dodge, and I'm going to say, I am liking color dodge. Cycling through. Soft light's very subtle. I'm digging soft light too. Soft light and color dodge. Pin light looks like a fart. Difference looks stupid. Exclusion is no good. Gonna go with divide and maybe hue, maybe color. Color looks too dominant, so I'm liking soft light. I am prone to agree with the Panimal at this point. Why? Because it's subtle. Check that out. It's subtle. It is a case of subtlety. And if I want it to be even more subtle, here's your tricky trick. You take the opacity layer. So that's how see-through or transparent the entire layer is. And for just the color layer, if I drag it down to 0, you see the original layer. But if you dial it up to like 20%, it's like a subtle green tinting. So I'm probably going to have it be at 100% because I kind of like the idea of like, you're not really sure. No, this is fantasy art. We should probably go all the way because soft light's already subtle. But on the other one, I would probably have it be that way. Now I'm going to merge down. So now it's a permanent fix. They really are permanently green now. And now I'm going to go into just the areas where the green occurs. And I'm going to select my boots so I can boot scoot. Make selection. I'm making the selection. And I'm going to get a dodge tool. Dodge selectively brightens. So I want to pull up the brightness on some of the green. Like maybe this particular leather has a slightly different sheen to it. Because leathers can be like that. Leathers almost have a finish to them with how worn or how bright they can appear to be. So I just want to run, just a mild exposure of only 30 something. Just a mild exposure. Just so I can say exposure. So there's my boots. Yay for me. Boots look good. Coat looks good. I can go into minutia, but I ain't gonna because I'm ready to go into like Balren proper. So let's do the biz. Now, I already took the liberties of doing some stuff while y'all weren't here. I modded the hat. I modded the coat heavily. So I'll show you the coat old versus now, and I'll give you the black background so it's a little bit easier to see than having a checkerboard look at you. So there's, doesn't he look so good in black background? Everything just looks better with a black background, you know what I'm saying? All right, so there's the jacket before. This is going to take like this could be a bit of a trick, this flicker, because to summon the old one, what should I do here? Ooh, I can be a smarty smart. Can I be a smarty smart? I think I can. Yeah. Okay, it's not going to look right at first, but I just want to be able to flicker this so you guys can see the difference. So that's the effect doubled on itself. That's not on purpose. Just give me a second. So I'm going to use the coat layer selection. Make a selection. I'm going to go to the original illustration copy. So that's the drawing. And I'm going to layer via copy, and I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to merge it down to that. Yay. Okay. Now I can flicker the new coat versus the old coat. Ready, kids? Here we go. This is the new coat. This is the old coat. New coat. Old coat. Now, the cool thing is, back in the day, when we got started on this whole process, you guys had seen that I already had the texture laid in for the coat, and I'd already warped it into place. And that looks like, because there's this nice highlight coming in on the original leather that I stole, that there I had figured out a light source. And I kind of did, because I was modding what was already there. But that light source still, in my opinion, looks flat. Well, it's easy to say that me or Cam are being picky about what we're doing when we look at it like this, but it's because we can see what it could look like if we spent some time on it in our heads before it exists. And that's what it's like when you hear an artist beat themselves up about what they do. It's not just an artist beating themselves up about what they do. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes they want sympathy. But a lot of it's because the nature of being a craftsman in any facet, I don't care what your skill set is because you know your skill set and you know what you're doing, you know what something could be before it has become that thing. And so until everybody else can see that, they think you're just being picky because they're only seeing at face value what they're looking at. So they're looking at this and saying, hey, that coat looks great. And I'm like, yeah, but the coat could look like that. And now I've hit hard shadows and highlights, and the coat is now behaving like it's wrapped around Balren. And that's what I want it to look like. And notice this, ladies and gentlemen. This is why, here you go. This is optical illusion like 101. There's always the joke that the camera adds 10 pounds to people. And it's kind of true. And here's why it's kind of true. When you or I look at something in life, we look at it with two eyes, barring eye injury or defect. And with our two eyes, we see things in three dimensionality. We see depth. A camera sees all of life with only one eye. So when I layer in light and shadow and I make him three-dimensional, suddenly he seems thinner because he's three-dimensional. Whereas if I pull back the light and shadow, he seems physically wider because he's like more wide now because it's a flat object. So flat, three-dimensional. Now the legs look a little skinnier. His waist definitely looks skinnier. You can actually see the shape of his rib cage a little bit. So yeah, that was what I was going for all along in my head. And I love that the collar is open, but propped up. So one side is catching light and the other is not catching light. And I knew I'd have fun with that when I got there. So that's that. I got to delete that and delete that. And there's our coat. The original code is underneath, but I just want to go back so I don't accidentally delete something I actually want. And so now on to the Balren's hair. Balren's hair. Where did I do the hair layer? Here's the hair path. Making a selection with the hair path. So, close. We're going to close the clothes for now. And we're going to close source. Now we're going to do some just straight up painting. I know I said I would have ear anatomy done, but I did not do it. So, I guess you might see me do ear anatomy on the fly because I don't know. I think black. I think he did imply black was Balren's hair. So I'm going to go up a layer from base skin, and we're going to call this one base hair. Why base? Because it's the most dominant color. So, what? But they're the same. Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing are Farmville. They're all life sims. Okay. So, for base hair, I'm not going to dump color. I'm going to dump green. But I want to give the slightest opposite color. So, I'm going to push towards a reddish orange color for my brown. Because I just want his hair to really pop. Even though it's going to be almost black. So it's black, but it's rooted in a dark brown. Because most black hair is. And I'm going to dump that in. And let's see here. Now, on this layer, I'm going to put on multiply. You can't even tell. because it's so darky dark. I will see. It's all there. It's all there, kids. It's all there. I don't know. I don't know now. I'm second guessing myself here. I'm not going to do it. Here's why. I can't see my own work. So I'd rather dump in a color I can see what I am doing. And I really need to go in the illustration layer and create a contrast variety because I really don't like... See how this gray line on the outside is so light? I can't stand that. So I'm going to go into that original illustration layer and see if I can do a contrast bump and make my gray lines darker. Oh no, it's not doing anything. Oh, there we go. That went well, unless it didn't. Gotta do a quick once over here, everybody. Okay, I like it better. Looks less ghosty now. All right. I got an audience of 6 because I don't count myself. Unless I should. So, I'm gonna grab some hair right now. Gonna grab some Balren hair. Got a selection. It's Balren's hair. I'm going to make it crazy dark brown. But at least with this, I might be able to see what I'm doing. Nope. Whoops. Base hair. Yeah. You know what? I'm on Air Laser's team here. I understand how Animal Crossing could be fun, but not for very long, because I do all that in life. Like, have a job and pay a mortgage. Why do I want to be a woodchuck version of myself working for bells instead of paychecks? I just don't understand. So, Balren now has the dark hair. So, I am now going to go through and selectively darken the hair that's in the background of Balren's hair and paint on top of it. So, Balren's hair, making a selection. So, I'm now going to make another layer of... I'm going to merge down that base hair. Merge down. I am the base hair. I am the last one. Okay. Make a new layer. I'm going to paint on top. Did that change it? I think it changed it. I'm paranoid. I know. Oh. Wizard, demon, or even a water creature in Animal Crossing? No thanks. I don't think you get cool powers in Animal Crossing. I think you just learn how to fish. So, I'm going to take this layer and I'm going to sample that brown. And I'm going to come in here and bring in... I honestly have to bring in like really pale highlights. Because brown hair and black hair get like really bright, not gray, but like off-white highlights. And this is going to be tedious. Welcome to tediousness. I know, right? See, you get it. So, setting my flow kind of low because I don't know how this is going to go well. I know how I feel about that. Too big. Is he going to draw it all the way down? Yeah, I kind of gotta, kids. I kind of gotta. And the crowd draweth to a hush. I'm going to highlight all these, just the ones that I think are in sunlight. And then I'm actually going to thin down the highlights even a little bit. So the ones in front are going to get some highlight. And I'm a dumb because he's wearing a big old hat. So actually, within a certain radius around his head, there would be a cast shadow from the hat, which would also affect how bright the highlights are in his hair. And I'm only highlighting down here because you would only see highlights on the hair down here as they came into light from shadow. Oh, a skullet. Oh, I wish that were canon. I wish that were so canon. Okay. Canonical skullet. You're welcome, Balren. I gotta trim these suckers. So even the things I just put on, I'm gonna now layer mask. No! Oh, I actually drew on these like a dumb. I'm not supposed to be dumb. Disable layer mask. Delete layer mask. Get out of here, layer mask. Not supposed to be dumb. Hashtag don't be dumb. So, set a smaller brush, softer edge, the softest edge, softer flow. I'm going to bring these down to points. So they're nice fade instead of a sharp start. Sharp start. This too sharp start. Nice fade. And now we're working on Balren's highlights. He doesn't come into the salon as often as he should. So I gotta be careful or I'm gonna paint something I don't want to paint because I don't have up a barrier like a dumb. Again, don't be dumb. Hashtag don't be dumb. So I'm gonna paint in here because I got weird fragments that I cannot stand. These tiny little fragments right here. Gotta paint the fragments, kids. We're not children. I'm so sorry, audience. Thank you for supporting me in my time of need. Right. Oh, there's a writing right there. Just have writing. Paint Balren the entire time. Okay. Now I'm going to have my hair back up. I don't know if it's even worthy. Okay. I got hair back up. And now I'm going to paint the hair. So I'm going to do a sweeping giant brush of that same dark brown. Yep, like that. You're going to see me paint, but since I've got up my quarantine, it'll only survive in this one area. I will set my flow crazy low so I can do this slow and steady. I don't like that. I'm going to do it higher up. There we go. Now it's like it's at the lower points. It's starting to look a little dreadlock-ish, even though that's not what we want. I want it to look like stringy and kind of wet. So I'm gonna be doing a fine tooth comb on this hair by the time I'm done. But I'm not gonna be done with the hair today. I just want to lay in like all my base coats. So base coats to me is everything before details, and everything before details is midtone, shadow, highlight. Once you have midtone, shadow, highlight, then you've got the base structure of what makes something look three-dimensional. So I got nothing for base hair. Well, that's just nonsense. Merge down. And that's what the paint looks like before multiply layer, everybody. Looks like trash. Multiply. Magically fixed. And now I'm going to do shadows. I'm going to do the shadows of Mordor. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Okay. So I'm going to pick the brown and drive it into black. And start to, no, don't paint on the neck. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Make selection. Make selection. What am I painting on? Am I painting on the right layer? Yes, I am. Okay. Now I want to drive it into full black. Full black. This is the first time I've had real hair, so I actually have to do a decent amount because what I established as a norm for hair on Skeezer is anything but a norm. Because we made Skeezer's hair look like porcupine quills. So it's not really what hair should look like in any way, shape, or form. So Balren's hair is going to take some time. Because I don't like the nature of the brush made them look like dreads. And I'm not digging it. So I'm going to merge that down. And now I'm going to take this layer that's far too brown and actually desaturate it globally. So the whole thing is just too close to brown. So I'm going to bring on brightness contrast, not brightness contrast. What am I talking about? Bringing hue saturation. And hue saturation allows me to selectively, make things crazy color, which that looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I do like that, but I don't think he would. So I'm going to actually go the opposite direction and slowly kill the life out of the color, which that to me right there, I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm going to flicker that effect so you guys can see it. So that's what I did. Brown, dead. Brown, dead. But I didn't kill all the life, so it still looks like it's an actual hair color. So then it kind of works. That's all I'm going to do to Balren's hair for right now. Because I don't want to spend forever, and don't get me wrong, I can spend forever on hair. Like at this size, let's take a look right here. Oh, we're gonna do some counting, kids. This strand of hair is conservatively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At most, like this strand of hair is 10 pixels wide. So at this size, I'm definitely going to be working a 1 pixel size brush. And that's just like Clint level minutia, like Clint level detail. So he'll respect it. Well, there's that, I guess. So now we got to do some skin. Good thing I did a skin layer a long time ago. Been waiting for this day. So. Oh, there he is. He was, look at that. Stealth check 100. I didn't even know he was here. Look at that. Amazing. He's so sneaky. So here's the thing you see every art person do with these when they do character designs. Oh, so you heard both versions of the intro song. Which one was better, Clint? There's the air requested one, and then my first one when it was just you I was singing to. Woo! All right, so here's what I was going with. So I'm going to color sample his skin tone. Boom. This is what I've decided is Balren's skin tone. So I'm going to go over to, I'm going to make a background layer. This layer is only going to have this on it. And I'm going to paint 100% brush, 100% flow. Boom. Big old circle of that. So now I'm going to brighten and desaturate. So it's not quite white. Boom. And and then I'll do it again. A little bit more, just a little bit more. Boom. Now I'm going to take the exact same color. and mess with the color picker. This is the color picker. It's great. The cool thing is the color picker allows you to selectively mess with specific aspects of a color. So you're only doing them one aspect at a time. And a color has 3 aspects. Hey, everybody, color theory. A color has 3 aspects. 1, 2, 3, and only 3. It has hue, which part of the color wheel it sits on. Saturation, this is also, the fancy word for saturation is chroma. What is the chroma of the color? But that's a little highfalutin is what some of them say. You know, them. And so chroma or saturation is how pure the color is. If it's full of life and full of vibrance, or if it's dead inside, it has like no color. It's grayed out. So in this case, I don't want to mess with saturation at all. I will desaturate when I choose to. Right now, I want to darken. So I want to have a shadow color. I'm going to go pretty dark too. Because if I go pretty dark, then if I set the flow of the brush kind of low, then it'll piece out that color nice and slow. So right there, everybody, I've made my color circles. Why have you done that? Because if I'm going to go in and paint, I want to be able to, just like a palette of colors that a painter holds, be able to go over, hold Alt, click, sample, and then my brushes change colors. Boom. That's why those nerds do that. So now I've set up a palette on my screen. Now this palette's disposable, clicky, and it's gone. No one ever knew it was there. And this palette, because it's on its own layer, is movable and sizable. So I'm going to move it on top of everything. So I got it close to Balren's skin. And, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to have an ear. Got to make an ear, kids. So I'm going to show you how to cheat at making an ear. I want to get a large size ear. That's really good because it's got a lot of vibrant shadow. Ooh. I'm scared of this one because it says man cuts out inner ear. I don't want to see that. This one says small and distorted ear canals. So that'll do. Open an image in new tab. Zoom on that image. Save image as. Put that image on my desktops because why not? Ear! And delete as. Delete as. Hey, Balren, you want an ear? Let's give you one. Let's give you an ear, bud. Open. Where's my ear? Ear. Grabbing an ear, and I'm bringing it to my Balren friend. It's a giant ear. His head can be heard. You see what I did there? Now, make a selection. Sure, delete, go away. Ear, we gotta shrink you down, and we gotta make you manageable. Gonna make his face an ear. So maybe he'll listen. Gonna make an elf ear. Gonna make an elf ear. And I'm good at the drawing, but I'm not so good that I can imagine something flipped on my own. So I'm gonna flip it this way. Hey! You guys want to see human Balren? Or disgusting human Balren because his ears are in profile? Oh, look at that. It's a good look. It's a good look. I like it. I like it. What y'all doing? I can hear ya. Okay. So I got my ears here. Main reason is so I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I can't totally do this exact because these ears are facing the wrong direction. I'm looking at them sideways, but it gives me an idea of what to play with when I'm going to construct these from scratch. So go into illustration, copy, and making a new layer. Oh, the grid. I hate the grid. So I like the grit, hate the grid. So I need a 2 pixel brush, I believe. How big is it? 2. Blah. That's too big. 2. Slightly softer. Just slightly softer brush. Slightly softer brush. You gotta make the new layers. You gotta make the clones. You gotta. Or else you're working on permanence and nobody cares about clones. People care about the original. So I can leave my flow 100%. Now I'm going to treat this as this upper layer right here. So I'm going to be smarty pants. Ready for this? This is genius. If I make a selection, when I draw, it will not allow me to draw outside of this because I'm smart like that. So I'm going to have this part of the inner ear is always a lump. No, that's the black. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want the original coloration. I'm just going to go to straight black. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care who knows it. So I'm going to set my flow slightly low. Just a little bit. So there's some irregularity to it. So I'm going to set this as that inner lobe right here. That is this part. Oh, hold on. Oh, let me draw. It's this part I just drew. And then right above that, now I'm going to set that lower. Nope, don't like that. I don't want the ears to fold back on themselves. Do I? Maybe I do. I do. I don't even know what I want anymore. I don't even know. So I'm gonna fold up here and do a tight turn. Oh. Cut underneath. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? And come up a little bit before I dip down into here. Now I'm going to have those are his keen elven ears, everybody. So keen, so elven, so ears. I have to add some irregularity to the line so it appears to be actually drawn. Some areas where for some reason it got thicker. I'm going to add some verisimilitude. It's a fancy word for reality and credibility. Here on the show, you're going to learn some vocab. So this would carve in, and then I'd have this. Oh, I'm just going to wing this next bit, and I don't even know if I'm going to like it. I don't like it. I can do that. Okay. Ready for some fun, y'all? I'm going to cheat. So, on this whole layer, it's just that. It's just that one drawing. So if I float over it, and I clone it. No! Wrong thing. Where was it? There. Oh, I see how you are. Grabbing the wrong thing. So I got to do it over here. No, stop it. Lock. Stop moving. So. Flippy. Now, is it going to line up perfectly? Of course not. I have a slight head tilt going with Balren. I didn't quite, match it up exact. However, that's what warp is for, y'all. So I can move things the way I want to. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to escape out of that. And first I'm going to set it like that. Yes, set the rotation that way. Stretch it that way. Yep. Yeppers. And then he said yeppers, and I was out. How dare he say that? It's ridiculous. No one talks like that. Unsubscribe. So, I'm going to grab this corner so I can have this just touch. It's just a little brush. Okay. Yeah. Now I just got to go in and draw. There, we got a fart. Drawing in here. Keen elven ears for Balren, y'all. So that's really all I intend to do. The rest will be all light and shadow. Because if you look at an ear, you're like, tons of lines. Nope. No, there's not. There's like one line here, a defined edge, right? Because a line is an edge. The only time you draw a line is when there's an edge. This has an edge, and that edge stops right about here. And this has an edge that starts down here and flows to here. And this has an edge. So about 2 to 3 lines at the most. And the rest is all light and shadow. So value is everything. Value is always kind of everything. There goes an ear. Deleted. Deleted the emails. So now we've got ears. And merge them to the original illustration. Merge. And now I got my base skin set. I kind of like it. I like that they're a little irregular. Just a little irregular. Okay. Now we do some value for once. For once in my godforsaken life. So, I'm going to start on the moneymaker, because why not? Let's start on the face. It's the time that the skin makes the most sense. By makes the most sense, I mean you will start to understand what you want more on the face than really anywhere else. So I'm going to grab shadow. Boom. I like starting with shadow personally, because when you start with shadow, it makes the highlights look much better once you put the shadows in. And until you have the shadows in, you don't really know where the highlights should go. So I'm going to work on I got to call this layer skin shadow. Skin shadow. We belong to the shadows. Okay. 0 hardness, y'all. 0 hardness. Medium flow. He's here. He's here, y'all. He has keen elven ears. Just drew him, Balren. Now, you're going to see I'm going to probably overdo it with the shadows at first. There is a method to my madness. I like to frame out where I want all the shadows to go first. And then I'll dial them back. Because the beauty is I'm working on a layer that they're the only things on that layer. So as I frame this out, if I do my job, y'all should start to notice Balren becomes a little bit more three-dimensional. He becomes more real, like you're actually looking at the real thing. Like he's staring up at something pensively. Oh. He's really Keanuing this. Cast shadow for the nose. Yeah, I don't want to round that out too much. I want Balren to have a chin that's like sharp as fucking razor. Because like sharp elves should appear sharp, delicate but sharp. Like that's to me the artistic style guide. Like, how do I put it? I don't know, like a willow tree. Like from a distance, a willow tree appears to be really round and fragile, but at the same time, when you get up close, everything is pointy. Everything is pointy. It's all pointy and sharp. You know, a steak knife is like the element of an elf because there's points, but it's curvature that reaches said point. And that's kind of like where you want to be. So for Balren, I want the chin to be kind of thick. Nope. What am I doing? Wrong color. Yeah, that's... Nope. That would be that. That would be dark. And now I'm going to set the keen elven ears. That whole area is going to be dark. Not that dark, but that's where we're going to start. I can always dial it back. Nothing we're doing is permanent right now. That's the beauty of Photoshop. That's also the curse of Photoshop. It's a curse. This place is cursed. Yeah, that's where the jam comes in. Check that out. Yeah, getting that three-dimensionality so the eyes really pop out of the skull. That looks beautiful. Got to hit those Concernicus lines. It's the exact same process I went through with Skeezer. Now, the only reason Kodo doesn't quite line up the same is his face is kind of a pattern nightmare. If you guys haven't seen the Kodo picture, he's all scales. And so I had a lot of fun. I didn't have fun. Looking at a combination of lizards and iguanas, primarily iguanas, because iguanas have a real diverse set of scale sizes on their face. And despite having all these different scale sizes, they have this nice counterbalance between global light hitting the whole head and shaping it three-dimensionally, and then light hitting just hold on here, everybody. Hold on. Now, that's our Balren, everybody. Now let's start doing highlights, and you'll start to see it's going to look a little gross, but you'll start to see my logic. Honestly, the majority of this skin work is going to happen off camera because it's all minutia and detail and tiny, tiny things. So, oh, I forgot an obvious thing. Dang it. Dang it. We are disobeying the laws of physics, which cannot happen. See if you can follow me on this one, everybody. What am I doing? That is from the hat. The top edge should be oddly shadowed because the hat would cast its own shadow over him. So if I ignore that, I'm ignoring the presence of the hat. And now if you notice, once I did that, his head appeared to sort of fade in to the hat, like the hat's a cave and we were just pushing his face into it. So now we're going to make certain things pop. Pop, pop. Community fans. Any magnitude fans in the audience? All right. So, setting my highlight, my flow a little bit lower. Set my brush a little bit smaller. Those beautiful elven cheekbones. Am I right, people? Now over here, we don't really highlight as much. We just don't. I'm going to give the slightest pop to his brow, as if it could grab a little bit of highlight. But that looks a little ghostly, so maybe not. But, no! Oh, I'm a dum-dum! I'm a dum-dum. Gotta take it all back. I am working on the skin shadow layer. I just layered highlight on top of shadow on the same layer. Huge no-no. Going back in time, one click at a time. Hopefully I can go back and take it all back, take it all back, take it all back. I take it all back just to have you. Okay, here we go again. Now, I know where I'm putting stuff, so I'll be a little bit more straightforward. No time. My life is real great, feeling well on my way. Dreams coming true, and I'm getting to do it with you. People sing along to the banjo. Some sort of hip-hop beat. Real life persona? I didn't know that. I thought he was heavily influenced by the character on Black Sails. Only because you said that a couple times. Okay. Now. No, I'm fine. Don't say that. Okay. It's just a little bit sniffles, guys. It's allergy season. It's tornado, allergy, and pandemic season. And what have these things brought us? Tiger King. It's a sign of the apocalypse. Okay. So now, let's set skin shadow to our magic blending mode. What is it, Rain? Rain, for $500, what is our magic blending mode that we love? Come on, buddy. What's the cool tool? It's a quiz. He'll actually wait until Rain types something. Yeah, it is. Proud of you. Look at that. You're at that. It already looks better. Now, skin highlight is not going to work with multiply. I don't think. Yeah, see, I don't like that. It just makes it look like oddly more tan. So I got to play with that one because I need to be bright. So lightens too much. Lighter color's good. Overlay's nice, but it creates weird burn transitions that look like tanning marks, and I don't like that for him. Again, soft light might be our jam. Hard light's too much. Linear light I kind of like. Hard mix is always cartoonishly stupid. I have no idea why it exists. Oh, luminosity will look insane. Luminosity! Luminosity doesn't allow the black lines to show through, and that's always ideal. For now, I'm going to hard light it, and then we'll deal with what comes later. So I'm going to work on the shadow. I'm going to pull the highlights off for now. And now we're going to work on shaping those shadows. Here's where another cool tool comes in, kids. I am cautious about when I use this and how I use this, but it is effective. Oh, it's an ugly brush. Oh, no. What happened to you, ugly brush? Okay. Yeah, smudge tool's great. Smudge tool's fantastic. It pushes color and blends it at the same time. So it's like you're treating everything like it's being liquefied. But the only trouble with it is while you're pushing it, it's also fading. So if I grab his shadow here, you'll see it moves. And it also like fades a little bit. So there's only so much it's actually useful. Like arguably I could get as much effectiveness out of just erasing it down or painting it down or doing something like that. So it's time to go in and clean stuff up. So I will smudge when it's time. It's the tool that lights a bunch of sage and waves it around your face. It's the hippie tool. Okay, so shout out to my hippies out there. Okay. No, I didn't want that. What do I want here? I'm on the shadow. I'm going to go in and darken some of it because I'm about to also remove it. So it's kind of a complicated process. It's a complicated process. Oh, it'll look worse today. Because it'll be like cartoonishly bad. Oh, good for them. Oh, I can hear my little bear. She's awake. What if you guys can hear her too? She's upstairs and she is pissed off. That's a 1 pixel brush. That's useless. Okay. Yeah. It's like boom, boom, boom. There's all this elephant stomping going upstairs. Oh. Yeah, TT2KB. Get your popcorn. Find Tiger King. And then we'll all get together and talk about it. And how it is the most American television show I've ever seen. It's just, it's got everything. It's got everything. It's got well over 200 tigers, every kind of animal. It's crazy. A live reaction? Yeah, actually. I mean, if you're that, yeah, that'll actually go over well. I'm sure YouTube is all over it already because it's been out just long enough that people are finally getting. It's number one. Yo, yes, it's definitely got a murder mystery. Okay, I'll give you the broad strokes, y'all. Tiger King. It is an inside look at the lives of a collection of people across America that do all know each other because they're all private exotic animal breeders, and they all have complicated relationships with each other as business partners do, and colleagues. Some hate each other. There is a murder mystery. There is a homosexual throuple. There is drug addiction, international cocaine smuggling sewed inside of snakes. There is a lot of mullets, more than one mullet of multiple styles. Cults that aren't, but totally are. Let's see. It just goes on and on. Like it's amazing. And, oh, you don't even know, Rain. It's fantastic. Yeah. The snake smuggling drugs. When you get to that part, just understand there's a lot of evidence that the person speaking when that interview rolls around was the inspiration for Tony Montana. I'm not joking. Like, there's a lot of people saying that he is the inspiration that the writers of Scarface used, the real life inspiration for writing Tony Montana, because when they made that character, he does a couple things in the movie that the real guy was like, well, I did this, but I didn't do it that way. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, I mean, as excited as I am to be here with y'all working on Balren, I am super psyched to just run back upstairs and watch more Tiger King with my wife. It is amazing. Tiger King in question, if anybody watches John Oliver, the actual Tiger King the show is named after, is Joe Exotic, who ran for president, and he is such a strange, messed up shit show circus human being that John Oliver did a piece on him about third-party candidates leading up to the presidency. And that's the first time I saw him. So when I saw the picture of him for Tiger King, I was like, what? I've seen this guy somewhere. Because I was watching John Oliver. in 2015. Amazing. So, if you got kids, I wouldn't suggest you show it to kids, mostly for language. But there's some, oh man. And hands down, okay, normally I don't praise like an editor, but the editors and directors of this documentary have nailed it. Oh, that's my son, y'all. Dude McDud. Leela, I love you too, honey. Is she watching me? Oh, now he's all silent. Look at him go. Hi to Leela from Pan. Leela, it's Jeff. It's you don't remember him, but it's Jeff. She just knows that you're faces. So every time I'll be like, remember that's Jeff. He plays with you. And she's like, yeah, he plays with me. It's like, yep. Oh. So darken in the neck. Okay. Oh, Tiger King. I can't. Here, I'll put it this way. My brother, who was a bartender and has seen his own different kind of crazy stuff in his life, said it is the single craziest thing he's ever seen, that show. And coming from my brother, that's pretty high bar. Just because when you're a bartender, you just see a lot of nonsense human behavior all the time. Yeah, Cole's like, you've got to see it. He called me out of the blue and was basically harassing me. He's like, call me the moment you've seen it. I'm like, all right. And the best part is, this is the best part. Cole and Drea were watching it and he said, don't watch it without me. She's like, okay. And then he woke up and she'd watched all of it. She watched it without him. She betrayed his trust. As husband and wife to not watch a show when the other one walks away. That's how good it is. Fantastic. And this is the show where I promote Tiger King, y'all. So now the cool thing is, and this is where it gets into real minutia with this kind of lighting, shadowing stuff that I'm doing. I'm gonna do some nonsense now. Now I've got all the lights and shadows in. They're all there. Good for me. Yeehaw. Oh, show interrupted. Oh, guess what? I'm making that guy I'm painting right now. Do you want to say anything? You don't want to say anything? Okay. You are so sweet. So everybody can hear you right now. There's only about 7 other people listening, Honey Bear. And most of them are our friends that we actually know. Jeff's listening, Clint's listening, and Dustin's listening. And Cam is not supportive because Cam's not supportive. Hey, I will give you candy if you say something for me. Will you say it? Okay, I want you to say, Bardic knowledge is poop sauce. Can you say that in the mic? Say, Bardic knowledge is poop sauce. If you say it, I will totally give you a chocolate. Me?
2.
2 chocolates? Okay, you gotta say it really good. Say it nice and slow. Do you want me to say it to you again? Okay. Bardic knowledge is poop sauce.
Bardic knowledge is poop sauce.
Yeah, Kim! Take that! Say, Cam smells like a fart. Oh, the funny thing is she likes Cam, so that's the best part. So, as I was saying, with this light and shadow, now things get crazy. It's like a super minutia. There's just like a lot of ways I can do this. I've been only painting on a layer that only has that on it. Oh, look at that. So remember how y'all were looking at this and you're like, oh, that's Balren. He's done. And then I was trying to explain earlier, well, an artist isn't always done and they're saying it's not done yet. They're like, how could it be better? Well, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, I see the lines, but I see what it could look like with shadow. And you guys see that? And it's like, boom. Wow. Now you can see depth. Now you can see it shaped 3-dimensionally. And that's what I see when I know how far it could go. So what I'm going to do now is on this layer, I'm going to show you what happens if I just dial the opacity down, which I've done before, where I decide, well, that whole thing's not that dark. Maybe I want to see it like more like that. No, it's not as crazy. It's not as dramatic as boom, super dark. I can also put a layer mask on the whole layer and selectively paint out as much or as little as I want. So right now I've got a layer mask on. So it's going to look like I'm painting it, but I'm not. I'm actually erasing it. But also, if I switch back to white, just paint right back in the exact amount it was. So this gets to mega micromanaging. That's kind of insane. Because when I get done, and I did the exact same thing with Skeezer, I had a layer of his base shadows, his base skin, his base highlights, and I had layer masks on all 3. So I was selectively erasing and painting back in certain layers just to see, like, because each time I would do it, it would shape him a little bit differently. It would change how he would look. And adjusting my flow and deciding what I want to keep and what I want to lose and being, oh no, the grid. I hate the grid. I hate the grid. I hate the grid. So I'm going to keep a really small brush. I'm going to cruise in here to his eye. And I don't like how dramatically that's changing. You're like, it's not changing that much, Levi. I'm like, yeah, but see, these are eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You want to hear the curse of every art person? No joke. I can spend all the time I want getting hair, skin, everything perfect. The grid's awful. The moment you see the grid, it interrupts your eyesight and you can't focus. You can't see or do anything. It just looks like somebody threw a fishnet over everything you're working on. So right now, so the eyes and windows of the soul. And to that end, I can make hair perfect, skin perfect, texture perfect. And if I make the eyes look a little wrong on a portrait of a person, the whole person doesn't look like themselves. And also, first eye, easiest thing in the world to draw. Second eye is a nightmare. Always. Because with the first eye, you're establishing certain conventions, certain things you're definitely going to do. But then with the second eye, you're trying to adhere to those same rules you made for yourself. And it's that much harder. So I am now going to go into the well of his eye, the socket. And I'm going to brighten up just a little bit. No, I don't know what to do here. I feel like his eyes should be casting a shadow. His hair should be casting a shadow right there, even if it's a thin one. So I'm going to paint that back in right there. And I'm going to even add a little bit more. It's true, but at the same time, okay, what Rain says is that ears are supposed to define a person. You're absolutely true, but it also sadly doesn't matter. With ears and hair, and to a degree nose, I have a ballpark. And if I land in that ballpark with a drawing, it'll look like the person. Mouth and eyes are incredibly important. And the reason why mouth and eyes are incredibly important is because they're two of the things we use to discern intent. So because when we look at a person, we use their mouth and their eyes to determine if they're a threat to us or if they're our friend from far away. And that's just like evolutionary psychology. We're hardwired. Okay, baby bear, I'll see you later. I love you, honey. Because we're hardwired to look at eyes, the moment we see people, we place a lot of import on the micro movements and shapes of eyes. So there really is a pretty high bar you got to hit and you got to be very mindful of. So this is going to go this way. I'm going to go and do some fine tuning on the nose. Oh, I almost hit the zoom in and I want to zoom in so bad. So I'm going to do that. Ever so slightly look up there. I like that. Like it's got a lift to it. I'm going to focus on the philtrum. Nope. Too bright. Dial that flow down. And I'm going to get to all the scars. That's going to be its own session kind of thing where I go in and lift some of this out. Let's see here. I'm going to go down the mouth here. Oh, that just puffed out his cheek a little bit, which I don't like. So paint some a little bit back here. This is why layer mask is awesome, because if I undo anything I do, I just bring it right back. Now you see why I roughed in so much stuff, so I can now go in and fine tune all the stuff I've roughed. So it's just cleaner. This is all just shadow work. I really don't like how pixely that line looks from the original illustration copy. So like, where is it? No, is that it? Yes, it is it. Boom, that's it. And it's actually this. That's if I remove all the original drawing. So if you look at what I've done, all this gross, especially with the painting of the face, right? This is what I've actually done. This is what my paint marks look like when I have no lines that I'm working around. So it just looks like gross putty that I pushed around. He looks super gross, clicky. But I really don't like how that looks. So I'm bringing brightness contrast again. Oh, much better. Is it getting thicker though? They're getting thicker. I don't want them to get thicker. Never do that thing. Never do that thing. No! You've given him the pox. Oh, what am I going to do with that layer? That layer's a problem. Hold on. He did look like Arseface from Preacher for a second there. I love Preacher. Preacher's good stuff. So let's only look at this. Let's zoom in and see if we can make some sense out of this. So I'm going to threshold this. Threshold is pretty... I don't really want to threshold. It's going to be bad. So I'm going to mess with the clone because see how these lines look definitely black and white. Except that, you know, when we got close, you saw they're not black and white at all. They're all these subtle layers of gray. So many shades of gray. One might say, I don't know, 49 shades of gray. So I'm going to duplicate this layer and I'm going to see if threshold looks good. It probably will look really, really bad. Oh, Preacher's great. But the problem with Preacher, Rain, is they spend all of season 1 setting up where the comic starts. So all of season 1 is basically an issue 0 to Preacher. And then in season 2, it actually feels like the comic, kind of. But it's a lot of gross. It's a lot of shock for the sake of shock. Like they nailed that tone. That tone that was like, where it's just like, how much more gross can this show possibly get? It can definitely get more gross. Let's see here. Where's my adjustments? I need to go threshold. Where's she at? There she is. Okay, threshold. This is threshold. Threshold separates. It's not going to look good for this. I will show you a thresholded picture. I will look at myself. Okay. So there's me, and here's me thresholded, which will make more sense to you. It won't make any sense in the other one. So threshold, see this guy right here, this histogram? This histogram is showing you all the values that exist on me. This dark range is present because I have a full range of dark values. This upper range is missing in the mountain range because the lighting in the room where I took the photo is not as bright as it could be. So It's simply missing brightness information. So the brightest whites in the picture aren't white. They're at best a bright tan color. And basically, with this slider on threshold, I pick where I want to set a line between black and white. And then everything to the left is black and everything to the right is white. So if I set it up here, I vanish. If I set it down here, it basically selectively, and this is like the Che Guevara picture that Rage Against the Machine used for Forever and a Day. It's like a thresholded picture. Or almost like the Shepherd Fairy Hope image for Obama, except his has multiple tones. His is like a 3 or 4 tone one. That's more like a posterize. Posterize is another thing that does something similar to this. So, but threshold won't have that effect here. It's just going to take all the black and make it pitch black. And hopefully that'll do what I want. Nope, I don't want posterize. Go away. I want threshold. The trouble with threshold, as you can see, it is pixelating in a really weird way. So what I might do... Oh, I'm going to be a smart. I'm going to... the pox. Be a smart. I'm going to pick a middle of the road upper one here. And I'm going to... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it kind of thick. Now, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I've got this kind of grainy version, but all the black lines here are a true pitch black. They're literally black. I can zoom in and they're all identical. That's really good right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is super Clint level, like detail. Some people would argue is unnecessary detail, but it's going to drive me crazy otherwise. So I'm going to click on the white area with a magic wand that you can't even see because everything's so pixelated, and hit similar. And now it's going to grab every white space in the entire thing. And now I'm going to click it to invert. Select inverse. Now I have all the black lines in the entire thing. Now I'm going to feather that by 1 pixel. So in a 1 pixel space, things are going to get a little bit fuzzy. And now I'm going to layer via copy. So I basically did a selection. And let's see how bad this looks. So I can see close. I don't like what it's doing to the eye. It's taking a lot of love out of the eye. So I'm going to go back in time and redo that jazz. So on this one, I'm going to threshold and set it on a lower setting of threshold. Sorry, this is very tedious, but I really want those black lines to be black. It's driving me crazy that he is generating this weird gray halo effect like he's glowing neon gray. It's going to be extremely distracting me the entire time. So I'm going to set this down real thin. So basically, hopefully this black line jumps in and out to selectively darken, but doesn't get in the way, which is the problem. So I got this guy, set it real pixely like that. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Same thing. I hit select, hit similar, hit select inverse. I only have black selected now. I'm going to feather by a single pixel. Oh, this is going to be spotty. Now I'm going to layer via copy. And now I'm going to delete this. And what do we have here? I hate that. Okay. So I'm not going to feather. And I'll layer via copy. And that's not bad. So let's see what's going on here. This is the black line, super thin, layered on top of the original illustration. And it kind of just, I'm flickering it right now. Kind of just adds some dark pixels. This is the kind of thing where I drive myself slowly insane, doing over and over and over and checking like, did it make a difference? So I'm going to merge it down because it didn't compromise our original line, which was important to me because that's the mother. That is the original illustration, and you don't want to alter that. You want to mess with a clone and leave that thing perfect and pristine. So now I'm going to summon his clothes in one fell swoop. Clothes! I summon you! Whoosh! Now his clothes have returned. And now I'm going to summon his skin. Skin! Whoosh! Hair! Whoosh! Skin shadows! Wow, 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 wow. They're wow, wow. I'm sorry I didn't let you guys know about that. Everything else was a whip crack, but it was a wow, wow to get the skin back. Still got some weird little dots, but honestly... See, around the clothing, that doesn't bother me. You get into the clothes, you don't really notice that kind of thing. But for the skin around the face and the hands, you're definitely going to notice it. It's going to drive you crazy. So I'm probably just going to suck it up and paint all those out by hand. There really isn't a better way to do it. There just ain't. Got these weird gray dots now. Oh, if I made everything worse. Oh well. Oh well. A 10th person has arrived. Number 10, thanks for checking us out. The white line, hip on left arm. Ooh, keen elven eyes, Rain. You mean the line that was created by the Trident? So, that's because I had the Trident up when I was doing certain grabs of color earlier. And that was it. Funny thing is, check out the Trident now and look how gray it is. Because we did so much darkening of black line that now the Trident that was black comparatively is now gray. So now that's going to drive me insane. So I have to go in and I have to brightness contrast that a lot. Ah, lovely. See, look at that. Look at that beautiful thing. Look at it, all of its stabby glory. Wow, Balren is hiding in the shadows. See, the funny thing is I step aside and put a white background. He's like, he's too dark. You put a dark background. He's too bright. Dark, bright. Decide. Maybe I should put him in a gray background. Let's see how that looks. Maybe I'll make a more informed decision that way. Mathematical center gray. Ooh. I'm going to work like this. I like it better. I can see what I'm doing. Checkerboard does get maddening. Not going to lie. Checkerboard gets real maddening. So, make a selection. Work on the skin shadows. Okay, you go get that dinner. Working on the skin shadows. Nope. Bigger brush. 3%. Well, I just gotta be better is what I gotta be. Gotta be more cautious. 3% brush. That's on me. It's not on the brush. Oh, I'm working in gray. Duh. So, everybody, and am I painting? Oh, this is just a amateur hour. Skin shadow on the layer mask. Now it's going to work. So if you paint anything other than black and white on a layer mask, which is a sin, then you get transparency. You are literally painting with things that are slowly becoming transparent. I'm gonna make that more nuanced because I feel like elves have perfect skin. We're going to weather his eyes with some more detail work at the end. We did a lot of that with Skeezer. Skeezer's got a lot of like little tiny little wrinkles because I wanted to give him some nuance. I'm going to apply that layer mask because I like it. And now I'm going to go back to regular painting. Oh no, my palette went away, except there it is. Summon palette. It's a cantrip. My ability to summon a pilot makes me stronger. Okay. Paint.
Right, guys, so welcome to painting Balren. Really don't know why. I think he's a bit of a prick. And not in the way that you consider like fun. How you guys are gonna love me, such a prick. But like, you know, guys, I kinda wanna shoot him when he's sleeping, like he's such a prick. My name's Lindale. Lindale Toscobble, pleasure to meet you. And I've been working aboard the grid for a number of years. See, really things have changed a lot lately. I mean, not all of it good. We picked up this guy. His name's Balren. I'm painting him right now. See, none of the guys know this, but I'm actually painting in my free time. I'm always too busy, and I have to put away my old easel and stuff. Ever since guys came aboard, we got wrapped up in like slave trade nonsense, trying to fight bad guys and getting almost stabbed and drowned. I had to go bleeding out once or twice. You know, it's good times. Good times, I suppose. But, you know, Captain says, gotta keep him, so I guess we gotta keep him. But, you know, it is what it is. They kept me alive, I can say that. They did put me in danger, they got me killed, but they have kept me alive. So, all things being equal, I'm still here to tell you, so that's like a bonus, I suppose. I like to look at the silver side of things. That's what my good friend Wrighton always tells me. I would say that. Wrighton got in the deal. Love Wrighton. What's not to like? What's not to like about Wrighton? He's just a good dude. And, no, really, I had eyes for this girl named Kizzy, and it's not in the cards. So, here's what it is. Guess never had a shot, you know, because, you know, how can you? Have you seen Wrighton? He's just delightful. Like, I even feel guilty about having a crush on Kizzy, because, like, she loves Wrighton so much, I wouldn't want to make Wrighton feel guilty. That's the power he has over you people. You don't even know. It's the power just like sheer charisma. So, you know, I get, maybe, who knows, maybe in the future we'll have Captain Burl on, because Captain Burl, he can actually, he can draw. You wouldn't know it, because he's mostly pining away about his dead wife. But, he can actually draw. Which is, yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see here. Oh, you don't like Captain? All right. Well, there's not too many people that are down with the Captain. So, you know, I got another buddy. We'll have him come on. People don't speak Dwarven, have a bit of a hard time with it, but his name's Toleg. He's a good dude, very enthusiastic. He's also able to draw. It's kind of funny how many of the people that aren't on the spotlight aboard the grid can draw. Be kind of surprised, I guess. Now, I'm cleaning up all these shadows here on his ears. His keen fucking elven ears, you know. Oh god, you should listen. Like Jeff Pancake's he's hitting the nail on the head. It is so hard to draw on the open seas. You'd be shocked. It's so hard. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna paint out some of the shadows on Balren's ears, his keen fucking elven ears. Never take a nap, do they? Okay. So I'm gonna go in here, bring up my flow, paint it out. So, oh, it's a bit too bright. I'm not liking that. I'm not liking this. The hardness needs to obey, do what it says, unlike fucking Balren. And, you know, then he goes off. He doesn't listen to anybody. He gets himself a brand new boat just because, like, by himself. And then at the end of the day, what am I supposed to say? Like, he sucks? No. I mean, here I am, busting my hump, trying to, like, keep things afloat. Keep this ship afloat, even in the dark years that the boys don't even know about. Because, like, what's the point in telling them? And lo and behold, guys show up. Cool, right? Cool. Finally making headway on the big mission, you know. If you're going to get revenge against the man that killed your wife, you're going to want really motivated dudes to help you do it. And then sure enough, they do. But then sure enough, along the way, one of them's a bit of a prick. And at the same time, you know, he gets results. So here I am. Years of service. One guy steals a couple boats. Suddenly, like, who am I? Nothing. I'm second mate. So, but you know what? You know what Right Noise tells me? I always got my wits. That's what I got. And so, I'm hanging on tight, people. I'm hanging on tight. I'm sitting here with my drawings. And that's what I got. So, I'm hanging on. Oh, let's see. Do I want a layer mask? No, I haven't done a layer mask. I delete that, disable it, and then delete it. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's counterproductive, bit redundant. So, oh, fuck. Oh, look at his neck. His neck is a mess. Gonna bring up, I do want a layer mask. I want to do some very careful painting out. And now keep in mind, people. No, I don't want that. Go back in time there. I want a smaller brush. I want to come in nice and smooth. And yeah, make it look like, nope, don't like that mark at all. Oh, I need to set a lower flow. I want this to be nice and gentle like. You're fucking telling me, Plague State. Meritocracy, kind of. More like dumb luckocracy is what it is. Now, if I had like a warlock and a wizard and big old dragon guy and then some guy that's got weird fucking songs, and they were like behind me just attacking people left and right, I'd be the most badass guy in the Heaven 7 Seas and people giving me boats, but no, that's not happening, isn't it now? Oh, hey little bear. What you doing? Do you want to come up here? No? Alright. I love you. Do you want... Oh, you got crackers. Okay. Oh, you're going to hear some real ASMR in here, people. We got a full sleeve of Ritz crackers. It's going to be very delightful. So... Oh, this is getting real dicey in here in this neck. This neck action is not coming out how I like. Not coming out how I like it at all. Oh, that's right. I get this nice deep cut crescent. Then just slightly faded down. Yes. Like that. Looking great. Little layered. Bit of a turkey neck. Say what you will about Balren. No turkey necks. I've tried. I draw them and I sit in my bunk, I draw a picture of him with a big old fat turkey neck and a penis coming off his nose. And then I'm like, is that looking right? And I fix the neck. So, let's see. Yep, looking pretty good. Like how that's all coming out. Let's do a zoom out. Love it, love it. Looking real dark, brooding. Now I'm going to go in and take this one higher. No, excuse me. And, what? You want to go up top? I can't do that. You're going to kick the microphone. This is as high as you go. What do you like what that is? Okay. 4? Is it 4 now? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's like the grit, the tolerance. Oh, and that's the one you left behind? Like way back when? Yeah, it's the very first one, right? The little one. Oh, man. Memory like a steel trap on that one. Which they're not known for, you know, elves. Not good for great memory, they say.
Spray paint.
Okay, now, spray paint. Oh, you want a spray paint. I got it.
Spray paint.
I know, we'll spray paint, but eventually, hold on. I'll need my trigger finger here. Gotta shift your position around. Now, I'm going to come in here, light as a feather. Because I want to adjust the shadows in here. for his ears and for the hair. Oh, I've got to be careful. I'm painting over hair, I'm pretty sure. But, no, I don't care. It's going to be fine. Give a slight... How close can I get? Nope, can't get that close. So, coming real slight like with maybe a 2-pixel brush. And painting slight curvature right here. Yeah, get the shadows underneath the nose just right. Oh, crinkle, crinkle, everybody. That's a 4-year-old doing her thing. Oh, this is quality ASMR. Crunchy, crunchy. All right. I want you, Leela, to say mouth sounds for the win. That's good. Darken this, darken that. Darken the corners of his mouth. Gotta give him that sweet pouty mouth he's got all the time. Makes all the ladies wish they already got the gonorrhea before they do the deed. Am I talking right? You're all understanding where I'm going with this. So, I'm gonna go in here. Darken things up. Is he talking about what I think he's talking about while he holds his daughter? I am. Dum dum dum. What are you talking about there, Bear? Okay, so let's see here. We're pretty close to rounding out, so let's just review what we've gotten done. I'll give you a long shot of Balren here. So before today, okay, go see Mummy. Go see Mummy and your brothers. Go.
Mommy's not here.
Where is she? Where is she? So, to review, we've got skin shadow. Wait, what? Okay, right, your show. What? Later, y'all.
Thank you very much, Lindell. So we've got skin shadows done today. That's where we were. That's where we are. So you can see that once you get on the skin, things really come to life. Things become more, they become more real almost. We did hair. So we had no hair before. And that adds a lot of dimension right there. Notice how he like thins his face just because the dark makes it recede. And no boot action. The boots were kind of nonsense before. They really sucked. Boots were just nothing, and now they look great. And the coat, we already flickered the coat. Coat was ridiculous. So this is probably the last time I'm going to stream Balren because I want to wrap him up. So the next time I hop on, the next time I do DM2Art, if only so I give myself a deadline that I will stick to, we are going to start Fulcrum. So, Fulcrum is going to be fun. The tattoo is going to be, I don't even know what I'm going to do for the tattoo. Honestly, I have some ideas, but, so, on to plugs. Today is Saturday. I don't think we got anything going on tonight. Monday, we have Wisdom Check. We will raid Dragons in the Dining Room now that they've gone live. They have a nice run, not long run game. We might actually stream World War Z. And next time we jump in on Monday, is our guest Pandad on Monday, everybody, or no? Come on, help me out, y'all. All right. Monday, Wisdom Check is me and Dustin interviewing David Lee Pancake, a fantastic sculpture artist that makes taxidermy dragon heads, makes dragons that crawl through, make it look like you're crawling through ventilation. There's a link right there. And jewelry, door knockers. There really isn't much he's not capable of making custom work. And right now, pandemic is not great for artists, especially those that live off of their art. So if you have anybody looking for a gift or that would interest them, please pursue David Lee Pancake and check out his stuff at the very least and see if you find anything you like. Monday is Wisdom Check. We'll be talking with David Lee Pancake. Tuesday is Bardic Knowledge, the inferior stream to mine. And Cam will be working on custom music for every single character. Cam is very close to being done with everything, which is upsetting because I was so far ahead. I have no excuses. Wednesday is going to be 7 Days to Die. And Thursday of next week is going to be Pathfinder. And we're going to start a new Pathfinder game with Pan at the Wheel, the Panimal, in the Paniverse. Chat, spread the good word because the stream for Pathfinder is going to actually have people. All of you in chat will be able to affect gameplay. We are working on ways to monetize bits so that bits can affect certain things happening in the game. I and my character is going to be one of those elements. You'll get to find out later. So when I zip off today, I got to work on a backstory to send to Pan. I'm very psyched about my character. I'm purposely keeping a dark secret from the rest of the guys. And I'm definitely trying not to pay attention at all to any party balance because that's stupid. So thanks for coming out today, and let's get that raid all set up and enjoy everybody. Thanks for coming out.